All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my outdoor garden. It's a beautiful, cool morning here. Let's see, what day is it? Oh my God. It is November 27th. There we go. And things are going pretty well here. I just got back from a 4-day vacation and didn't have the opportunity to water any of my plants or anything like that. Of course, if you're going to do something like that, this is the time of year to do it because the plants need less water. And also, it's not quite cold enough just yet here in Tucson that things need to be sheltered. Everything survived as far as I can tell, so I'm very, very happy about that. And I did have a little bit of help. I did have a little bit of help. I had a friend come over one of the days to water. So these are my sapotes. They are doing very, very well. They're very happy. Even with it getting a little bit cooler out, they're doing just fine. This is one of the Sweetmeat Squash, and it's trying to kind of like tuck up under the sapotes here, which I think is a little bit funny. But it's starting to not love the cold. So I'm probably going to have to take him in pretty soon. But that's something I can do. Kind of wanted to give you at least an update on what everything is going through here. So here is my basil and my eggplant. Basil's still going into flower. I'm letting it do its thing. I think that helped, actually, because eggplant are supposed to be self-flowering, but you know, it's got tons and tons of little flowers all over them. And no eggplant. Granted, it is a little bit late in the year for them, but look at what happened. I got an eggplant. I'm very happy about that. So, eggplant coming in. I'm going to try to keep that plant a little warm, so hopefully it'll keep producing. The pepper plants, I had to harvest all of my bell peppers, which is simply because they were just getting eaten. And the longer I was leaving them on there, the more were getting eaten. So I decided to go ahead and pull the trigger and take them all off the plant. Now, that being said, I'm going to try to keep the plants alive and see if I can't, get them in the spring to produce a lot more peppers. That would be really nice. I'm going to try at my very best, at least, to overwinter all of my plants. So, or at least almost all of them, so that they, are already with a head start come springtime. The banana peppers are still doing well. The peppers it's producing now are not quite as big, and I think that has to do with the cold, of course. And some of them are starting to get a little red on them already, even though they're very small. My Pasilla Chilies are doing very, very well. I had to stake it up with a tomato cage, though, because this thing is getting so heavy it keeps falling over, and my stake that I had in here actually broke off. It broke right in two after multiple times of having to try to restake it. So that's something that hopefully this works for it. It's a very tall plant, so yeah. But the peppers look fantastic. This one's got a little blemish on it, but the peppers look fantastic. They're, again, a smaller size than what I would have expected necessarily, but you can tell that they've got a lot of weight to them. You can see that they really, really do, weigh down on this plant. So, yeah, excited about those. I did already try one a while back, and they're much sweeter than I would have expected. But I think I'm going to try to let these keep going and maybe allow them to dry on the plant. That's kind of what I'm thinking. And then, use the dried chilies. So, I don't know. We'll see. I've got options. My banana plants are doing very well. Also something I'm going to have to start taking in pretty soon here. But for now, they're doing okay. This guy seems to be a little bit happier than his brother, but they're okay. You know, they've got a little bit of browning on some of the leaves, and this guy is starting to put out some new leaves, so that's all good. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to kind of bring them in pretty soon because they are very small and they won't survive the winter. The moringas are doing excellent as well. I'm gonna have to, you know, get these guys sheltered as well over the winter once it starts really getting into, you know, freezing temperatures. But they're both still surviving and thriving. I just gave them some water for the first time in like 2 weeks now, so. But you see, it's still putting out new leaves. My pomegranate, I'll show you in a minute, but it has died back pretty thoroughly now. And this is the largest pomegranate I got off it this year. That's it. Very, very tiny. I have a feeling this is an ornamental tree. There are seeds in here. It is, you know, a decent weight and everything. And they do taste good. But, yeah, this is not the kind of pomegranate that I would want or expect to have. Kind of doesn't really make it worth having pomegranates, but this is my whole harvest. This is everything that has survived off my pomegranate tree, apart from a couple that I've eaten along the way. So, I don't know. Here, I'll go ahead and show you that right now. It's already starting to go into its wintering phase, right here behind the pooches. You guys garden my pomegranates? Oh, really? What do you think, Jocko? Yeah? Yeah. Okay. So yeah, there's the pomegranate. Everything that's left on the tree is either too small or it's already broken, so I'm not going to bother with that. But you can see it's got a little bit of green still left on it, but most of it's already, the leaves have already fallen. So that's fine. That's normal. Guys. So yeah, I'm going to give it another year. I'm going to give it one more year. I'll take really good care of it next year as well, and we'll see what happens. If that doesn't work, I'm replacing it. I don't got time to deal with that. So let's take a look at the main bed here. Kale is doing extraordinarily well. I got to start eating some of this. The curly kale here doesn't really seem to have grown much, but it's very happy. So, you know, whatever, that's fine. Mustard greens are also doing really well. Everything just got watered, so they're a little bit droopy at the moment, but they'll be fine. My lettuce that did go to seed, it has produced these very lovely, nice flowers. So, you know, at this point I'm just hoping they get pollinated. And yeah, it might be too cold for them to get pollinated now. So this has been a kind of a big blunder for me with this romaine lettuce, and my little experiment there to cut off the top just produced 2 new seeding tops. So I don't think that was much of a success either, and everything is very bitter. So basically I'm just I'm pulling off the lower leaves and feeding that to my bearded dragon, and he seems to like it, so you know, that's good. The bean plants are doing okay, but they are kind of yellowish. They're not really, they probably need a bit more nitrogen, and again, this is kind of the wrong season for them. So hopefully I can just kind of keep them alive. I'm going to try to plastic over everything over here, the tomatoes at least, and the beans, to make a little makeshift greenhouse for them, and hopefully keep everything going over the winter. If not, you know, the beans didn't get very far on their own anyway, and I've got plenty more, so I can always replant them in the spring if need be. Tomato, this thing is going crazy with tomatoes. Loads and loads and loads of tomatoes everywhere. I finally got to taste a couple of them, and you'll see I've got one yellow one back here that's almost ripe for harvest. I'm gonna say maybe another day or two on that one, and then a couple more that are starting to go yellow, which is perfect. The tomato was delicious. That I had off this plant, really good. I'm not, generally speaking, a huge raw tomato person. My wife loves them, which is the reason why I'm growing her some cherry tomatoes. She eats them like candy. But even I thought it was really good. For me, just a little tiny sprinkle of salt on them, oh, and it was really perfect. So yeah, this guy has not started producing any tomatoes yet, this middle one, but it does have, you know, flowers on it. I come out here and I shake them every morning just to make sure that they're getting pollinated, but it's doing okay. This guy does have some tomatoes on it, but not very many. You see there's a couple more here, but it's growing, it's surviving, it's thriving. Again, we'll be having a really big head start for spring, assuming I can keep it alive over winter. Brussels sprout doing just fine. Got a kind of a lower leaf here that's a little messed up, so I'm going to pull that right off. But overall, doing very well. Something ate my Mizuna, and only my Mizuna, which I thought was kind of interesting. Not really sure what could have done that. I've been keeping the gate closed, so I don't really think it's rabbits unless they got in from, somewhere else over here. I don't see any burrowing holes or anything, so not really sure what happened there. But yeah, I mean, again, it'll grow back. It likes winter, so I'm sure it'll be fine eventually. But in the meantime, and then the radishes are all doing well. They're all kind of starting to lose their primary leaves and all growing, their secondary leaves and whatnot, which is great. Hopefully I get some decent radishes here. See, they got some, red in their, in their stems. These are the watermelon radishes here, which I'm excited about, and these are Daikon radishes, kind of similar to like a horseradish. So very excited about that. That's cabbage, and bok choy. I got another bok choy over there. And then you can see just a couple of the yellow beets that I planted are starting to pop up out through the mulch as well. Yeah, so very excited about all of these things. Yeah, I got to do a little bit of winterizing for my garden, but other than that, everything is doing really well. I'm so happy to find out that nothing completely kicked the bucket when I got home from Texas. So we went out to Texas to visit my brother-in-law, who is stationed at Fort Hood, and was not able to get leave time for either Thanksgiving or Christmas this year. So we decided to go ahead and bring Thanksgiving to him. And honestly, one of the best Thanksgivings I've ever had, if not the best. Just because it's a little different, you kind of mix it up. And of course, because we got to see him. Really fantastic. So anyway, that's everything for now. Thank you guys for watching. I know I've gotten a few new subscribers. Thank you for joining. I hope you enjoy my videos. And happy gardening.